sorry, the number you have reached is not in service. Please check the number or try your call again. This is a recording.
Are you listening?
Listen to people, learn what you can.
What is racist and what is just ignorance?
If you've got a friend or an ally or somebody in your corner there to support you, amazing.
I just can't wait for the day where we're no longer pleasantly surprised that someone is LGBT+.
Ask questions on a personal level, do better.
Asking pronouns.
It was like the moment that I realised I was different.
Winning that award topped this year off for me.
Because without you, this world wouldn't be the same.
Are you listening?
Are you listening?
Are you listening?
Are you listening?
Hi everyone, it's Darius here, back on the Are You Listening podcast. We are here for season 3. I just feel so grateful that we are still going. Are You Listening is going strong, and thank you to every single person that's taken the time out to listen to us. Today, we are going to have a little look back to 2 years ago when this podcast started. So I really hope you enjoy this episode. We are going to be speaking to Sam and to Teya and just having a lovely reflection back on all of the things that we got up to when this podcast first started. Additionally, you are in for a treat this season. There will be so many more young people's voices, new voices that you haven't heard before coming onto episodes. And I guess you'll be hearing certain voices a bit less. So just for a bit of context, myself, Sam and Teya have all stepped back in a way from this podcast. You will still hear me, or I'll still be involved a little bit in the podcast, but Sam and Teya have stepped back, and we are going to get into all of that and have a discussion with them in just a little bit. I am so happy to be here with my lovely friends, Sam and Teya. Welcome back.
Hello.
So it's been a good while before we've had the chance to firstly probably catch up and sit down and also sit on a podcast together. So Teya, how have you been doing since the last time firstly you're on the podcast, and also the last time since we spoke? How have you been doing?
I mean, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Really has.
Like half a year, more than that maybe. So a lot's happened since then. I finished my apprenticeship. So obviously during the podcast I was doing an apprenticeship at Oxfordshire University, so I passed that with a distinction, which I was really proud with. I got a promotion at my work. I then got a new job. So lots has been happening ever since, but I will always remember my days on the podcast.
Look at you go. You're just slaying the game. We absolutely love that. And I mean, personally, as a friend, I'm really proud of you, but I'm sure every single person at Oxfordshire Youth is so proud of you as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Sam, how have you been doing? It's been a very long time.
It has. I feel like I've seen you more than I've seen most of Oxfordshire Youth people, just because of other social events that we've been tied into. But this feels very homely to me, because obviously first lockdown, we were all here. I was at this desk in a different position, recording podcasts when there was nothing else to do. And I feel like we've come full circle somewhat. In the time I've moved out, I've, like Teya, finished my apprenticeship, gone into the real world of work. Terrifying. Now we all have fancy grown-up job titles and consequences with the jobs that we do. And now I'm back here at the desk doing one last podcast. It's
Hopefully not one last one. Maybe there might be some in the future.
I feel like the hooks in me of Oxfordshire Youth are very difficult to break. They're
yes, definitely.
Mostly I feel like Darius might just call me in the middle of the night, scream at me, and then hang up if I don't keep doing podcasts.
I would, for legal reasons, I need to say that I will not do that. But if it does happen, it wasn't me.
It was an accident.
Yeah, you know when you butt dial someone, that's what happened.
We are neither confirming nor denying this situation.
Exactly.
Maybe a more professional approach he would contact you on Instagram and be like, "Don't leave me."
Slide into the DMs and
just like, Sam, I love you. You can't leave.
Don't leave me.
Yeah. Honestly, it's so amazing to have you both back with me. As I said, it's been a while, and we have come such a long way. You've both alluded to the fact. So we are coming up to almost 2 years. 2 years when we sat down and decided to do the very first episode of the podcast. So how does that feel?
Can we not talk about this because it just puts into perspective 2 years, really?
My heart is like 2 years is a long time.
It really is.
It's a really long time.
It feels like yesterday we were literally sat down creating ideas for the podcast, and now 2 years later, here we are.
Yeah. Do you know what doesn't feel all that long ago? Is having a Chinese in Oxfordshire Youth talking about the Oxford Youth Awards, but then didn't happen and then got delayed, and then the podcast happened in between, and then that must have been more than 2 years ago now.
Yeah, that's
3?
Like, yeah, probably 3.
No.
Okay.
Not dealing with this. No.
Well, I think I joined Oxfordshire Youth in 2019, so.
Oh my goodness! I know I've known Teya. I've known you the longest because of Oxfordshire Youth. Then Sam, you came was it the end of 2019?
End of 2019.
So it's been we're in 2022. We're in 2022.
Sorry, no. Like I alluded to earlier, we all have quite full-on jobs at the moment. We're all doing a lot of things. I don't think any of us are in a stable enough state to deal with this level of.
No,
it's been that long.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Anyway, changing subject.
Changing subject very, very quickly, because that amount of time is a lot to even process. So over that allotted time that we're not going to speak of, we have done so much together. Sam, what would you say are some of the highlights, not just from the podcast, but all of the things that we've been able to do together?
Do you know what? There's a massive thing to the sanity factor that Oxfordshire Youth gave me during lockdown. So all of a sudden, like Teya was doing an apprenticeship, which meant I was very kind of face-to-face, hands-on with everything that I was doing. And then to suddenly jump into the world of the online was quite terrifying. And then everyone I was working with, I was only 19 at the time, and everyone I was working with had a bit more experience with potentially working from home in the past. So having a group of young people around my age, all in the exact same situation, just kind of all sat there here at our makeshift home working stations and doing some reasonably significant stuff, I think is the there's some quite big topics we covered in quite a turbulent time. Yeah. So I think to kind of sift through and take from some quite significant situations, whether it be COVID, whether it be the Black Lives Matter movement, the LGBTQ plus situations that all cropped up during this already troubling time. The fact that we were able to take those things, put people on the platform to be able to speak to them when everyone feels very shut off, very isolated, that's probably the biggest thing for me. Is that through all of it, we could say, actually, no, we're not all shut in our bedrooms. We can still talk to each other, and we can still talk to the wider community and hopefully make a difference.
And I feel like we really did that in our own way. We all made a difference to our own personal surrounding, to everyone that tuned in. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. It's been really, really brilliant to have that kind of platform, to not only have our opinions, but to kind of bring on other young people who sometimes don't always get those platforms to speak on those issues. So I think, we've done pretty well.
I think we should all be very proud of ourselves, especially sort of jumping on what Sam said. I think it made us all feel good in a way. Not only could we get to communicate with each other, but we also got to help so many people, the people that tuned on, the people that were thinking about those topics at the time. And like Sam said, we got to talk about so many big topics that a lot of people might have avoided, and actually approach them from a more friendly, more like, let's talk about this way. And I think, I was really proud of us for doing that. And also in such a difficult time as well, and being adults about the situation and looking at things, being like, okay, let's talk to all these young people. Let's show them that it's okay to talk about this sort of stuff. We don't have to sit and hide in our bedrooms. We can, but we can and talk about it.
Honestly, it's being able to take that step back and look at all of the things that we've been able to do. It's really, really amazing. And Did you know that this episode is actually the 30th episode that's ever been recorded of Are You Listening?
Wow. That's amazing.
Did you do this on purpose, Darius?
Maybe. I wanted, like, I'm currently feeling quite old, so I wanted you all to feel old as well.
Well, thank you. You have achieved it.
That's okay. Anytime.
I still
We're all
like
in
to
this
think I'm
together.
young.
Yeah, I mean, we are all still in the bracket of being youth. So until we hit the age of 25, which I might be doing in 2 years, we're still technically youth.
I can't agree with that. No, the bracket of youth is subjective. My back says otherwise. The loose stack of payables that is my spine at this point.
That's an option.
It's another issue entirely.
That's fair enough.
That might be a whole other podcast episode, which we'll have to get you both on in the future.
Hello and welcome to the podcast
21-year-old back pain.
It's like we're introducing Sam. He is a 60-year-old trapped in the body of a 22-year-old, and that body is failing anyway.
When you both hear the phrase, "Are you listening?" what does that mean to you? For me, it's meant a lot. It's meant so much because that phrase changed a lot of things for all of us. So what does that now mean to you?
I think to me that means a huge step in my life. Not only did we sort of as a team come up with that name, so that's something in itself to be really proud of, but it's also like a next sort of stage in my life. Like you said, it sort of all came about because of COVID. It sort of represents that time that was difficult, but we made it work. And not only did we make it work for ourselves, but we made it work for others. And also, not only just sort of speak from like a career point of view as well, it was such a good experience to be a part of the sort of the creation of the podcast, all of that fun, like sort of creative stuff, and then to actually be on a podcast and just chat and speak to loads of different people, and also getting the Oxfordshire Youth Awards winners and chatting to all of them about their win was a lot of fun as well. So I think it sort of represents a time in my life that was a lot of fun, a lot of good experience, but also really sort of powerful.
It's a lot of learning for me is the biggest thing that I'll take away from it. So again, comes back to lockdown, a time that is it was very much sink or swim for a lot of people where, you know, careers are kind of at a knife edge, you know, social lives shut down completely. So the fact that I was given the platform to not only speak to people, but to also listen to people and listen to their stories, listen to the things that they were working on, listen about these huge subjects that I'd confess that, you know, aware of, but being able to drill deep into them and find out what's really going on from the people who it affects. Just, the amount that I learned and experienced during that time is just incredible. And
it was also really inspiring to hear all of like the different stories and actually dive deeper and learn a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember the first, for the Oxfordshire Youth Awards, the first kind of funneling down of applicants. Coming off of that call and just going, what am I doing in my life, Sam?
So many great young people doing so many great things. Like, I will always remember those meetings from looking through all of the people that applied. Like, every single person deserved a win. It was so hard to pick a winner, but yeah, I just felt so inspired after that. I was like, wow.
It was incredible.
Honestly, it was absolutely amazing, and it's been quite emotional having this conversation with you both. And I feel like, you know, we're going to take a little break just so we can come to terms with the fact that this is the 30th episode, and
it's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years. So let's just take a little break just to take that all in. The 2022 Oxfordshire Youth Awards are on their way. If you would like to be a part of the events committee, make sure you come on down to our very first meeting on the 27th of April. If you would like to be there, make sure you contact us, but especially email becky.critchley@oxfordshireYouth.org to make sure you secure your place. We're back from that break. It was much needed. We have just about come to terms with the fact that it's been that amount of time. But it's completely fine. It's completely fine. Like, over almost completely fine.
Yes, everything is fine.
Everything. Everything. It's not, we're not dying inside a little bit. Everything's fine. We have all done some seriously amazing things after the podcast. As I mentioned at the top end of this episode, both Sam and Teya have stepped down from being on the podcast, which is completely understandable because these two are busy. They are busy people. So, Sam, what have you been doing? Because you've like I see you on the gram, I see you like posting every so often, sometimes on Snapchat. You're in like Edinburgh, London. You're a traveling man. So like what's been happening?
Everything's reopened, which just means work takes me. No, it's not too bad, to be fair. So I left my apprenticeship in August 2020. All that time ago.
Wow, that sounds. It feels like yesterday when you finished.
Yeah, it does. I left my apprenticeship into what can only be described as very turbulent times. So kind of like not quite a steer, not quite a direction. So threw myself into Oxfordshire Youth, threw myself into a couple of other projects I was doing in the background. Did a lot of music, and then found a sales job for a couple of months. Didn't enjoy it too much, and then I landed at the company that I work for now. Global brand, family owned, so it's very much pinnacle of innovation for the industry that they lie within, but family owned and very much kind of people are the core of what they do. So I aligned myself with the brand quite quickly. Started quite bottom rung, but luckily through previous experience of my apprenticeship, I kind of jumped into a very important sounding position now. So where now I deliver bespoke CRM training, so client relationship management system. I look at forecasting for future production and future budgeting, as well as providing support across the country for our direct retail section. So all of our showrooms, our stores. So I get to work with some brilliant people, some brilliant young people, and also people who've been with the company for 20 plus years. Who are just the most experienced. They've been over to our headquarters in Europe. So yeah, I am all over the place now, which is it's really good fun actually. Never experienced it in a job before where they're actively wanting to send me to do stuff rather than just expect. There's the massive aspects in a lot of kind of bottom rung jobs when you kind of leave education and you're working your way up. And a lot of time you're picking up the brunt work for not particularly fun work. And I've done that for the past 4 years or so. And I'm now in a position where I'm looking at my watch 8 o'clock in the morning whilst I'm looking over the views from Edinburgh. And it's quite lovely. So yes, I am busy.
Yeah.
Is the kind of thick of it really.
But a good busy by the sounds of it.
Good busy. Yeah. So it's trying to find time to be at home now.
I'm very personally, again, very proud of you and like all of the great things that you're doing. And just think, what growth, like so much growth from when we first met, podcast, Youth Awards, all of those things. And look where you are now. Look at you.
I sell dishwashers. No, I'm joking. I actually do have
We'll use the professional title.
Yeah. What's the professional title? Go, like, speak yourself up.
Professional title is Domestic Sales Coordinator for Direct Retail in London and Account Manager for Harrod.com.
See, you don't just sell dishwashers.
No, it's good fun.
Amazing. And Teya, what about you? Like, what have you been doing recently? I've been seeing so many great things on your social media, like great things up and coming. I saw and watched you host some awards, and like you've been doing some great things.
So I'll start from there, I suppose. So I finished my apprenticeship in June last year, which was quite a shock actually, because I've been an apprentice since I was 16. Right. So to not be an apprentice for the first time in my whole career felt quite liberating. So obviously, like I mentioned earlier, I passed that, and I was really proud of myself passing that with such high marks. But during that time, I joined the Oxfordshire Youth team. COVID happened, but even though COVID happened, the virtual world for me was such a great place because, like you said, you've seen me host an award ceremony, so that was a lot of fun. And my experience with hosting the Oxfordshire Youth Awards as well really helped. So we actually ended up using Oxford Media Factory as well, so it's brilliant working with them again. So I got to host the the Oxfordshire Apprenticeship Awards, which I won back in 2020, I think. Yeah.
Sorry, let me just console my shelf of awards behind me.
Yeah, not to brag, but no, I was really, really proud of myself and really lucky to win the award back in 2020. And I was then asked to host it in 2021. And it felt so good being able to pass sort of like that sort of award on to the next apprentices. Well, we had two main winners that year. One of them being Oxford University, which was amazing. So it felt so good to pass it on to someone that I'd worked with. Obviously, Sam and I were with Oxford University, so it was a really proud moment to see that happen. So that's something that I got involved in as well. And then I was also asked to be involved with it in 2022, so this year. So hopefully I'll be involved a bit in that again this year, which will be nice because hopefully it will be face to face. I mean, I can't promise anything, but hopefully there will be a mixture of like the virtual world, because that went really well, and then some sort of face-to-face element would be nice too. So obviously on the side of that, I got a promotion within my job after I finished my apprenticeship. So I stayed there for 8 months and gained a lot of experience being a trial assistant. So after I finished my apprenticeship, I stayed in the same sort of area in clinical trials. And after that, I felt like looking at something in a different sort of research area and to gain some more experience in something that I really felt passionate about. And I saw a job advert come up for women's health. So I've now moved on to work in clinical trials in women's health, which I think is absolutely amazing, to work on such under-researched things like endometriosis and fetal sort of growth and breast cancer and things like that. It feels so good to be able to work in that area now. And something that I'm also proud of is recently it was Endometriosis Awareness Month in March, and I was lucky enough to be able to sort of run and host some events during that month and raise a good amount of money for Endometriosis UK. So that included a bake sale, a Wear It Yellow as the endometriosis awareness colour is yellow, and a quiz as well within our team. That was a lot of fun and something that I'm really proud of to say that I got to work on. And it feels great to have that bit of extra responsibility as well. As Sam, you said, it's nice to feel like you're managing something yourself. Yeah. And that feels great. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I'm a big traveller, so I like to get on a plane and go to a new place every couple of months. So that's on my Instagram.
Where's the next destination, and are we invited?
If you like. I mean, I've just got back from a trip to New York, which was somewhere I've been dreaming of going since I was a teen. And I've always wanted to go for my 21st. So I'm so glad that got to happen. It was like a dream come true. But the next place I'm hoping to go is to do another Scotland road trip. So I was lucky enough to do a Scotland road trip in 2020 for 2 weeks, and hoping to do something similar again this year.
Amazing. I mean,
love it.
Yeah, I mean, we both drive and have cars, so we can come to Scotland.
Just saying about the planes, I haven't been on a plane except for work in the past 4 years, and now I feel like my bank account's going to suffer this evening as a result of this.
I do apologise, but it's all your fault. I always say experiences are worth it.
Yes.
The experience of travelling in itself is worth it, just to get that cultural understanding of a different location, to make those memories, to have those to look back on when you're older. It'll feel so great, rather than being like, oh, I got to stare at my money for the entirety of my...
What money, Teya? What money?
Yeah, well, I got to stare at the £0 on my bank account anyway.
That's £0. That's a mood. That really is.
Maybe not 0, maybe £40.
Pushing 50. I think it's really important, both Teya and Sam, what you've said, to have some kind of ownership over what you're doing. We've all been able to have ownership over different things. So whether it's from the podcast, from the Youth Awards, we've had that ownership, and that's been able to spur us on to do so many other things that, you know, we're out here adulting, like properly adulting. Like, look at us go.
Speak for yourself, Darius. God.
Okay, Sam.
I'm about to go and cause chaos this evening now.
Can I join in?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Help me in too.
Yay. No more adulting. We're done.
Yeah, no more adulting until tomorrow. then
Yeah, back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have the adult again. But honestly, it's been firstly so lovely to catch up with you both, because it's been a good while. And as you both know, there is a new lot of amazing young people that will be coming to take this podcast over. If you could give them any advice, because I'm sure they'll be hearing it, so hi,
hello.
Hello, welcome. It's great.
Hi, podcast crew. Like, we're speaking to you from the past, and you'll hear this in the future. Teya, what advice would you give to the podcast crew?
I think the advice that I would give is not to be scared to talk about on the podcast any topic that you feel passionate about, no matter how much you think, oh, that might be a bit taboo or people might not want to hear that. No, there will be people out there that do want to hear it, and you can chat about anything that you would like to chat about, honestly, within reason. But yeah, just to take the experience and use it to talk about things that will make a difference to the young people in the world, and to use it as sort of a timestamp in your life as something to be proud of.
Oh, I love that. A timestamp in your life. That was
good.
Deep.
T-shirt worthy.
Thanks.
Definitely T-shirt worthy. Okay. How are you going to follow that? That's my question.
All I can say is just absolutely and utterly lap it all up. The podcast will bring you in contact with some genuinely incredible people. Obviously, you're all going to be incredible people to continue this on from, me and Teya, the rest of the team. There's a lot to step up to. I'm joking.
I mean, I'm 5'1". There's not a lot to step above. So,
sorry, Tusa, you're going to need to recover from. I wasn't expecting that comment. You'll meet some incredible people. You'll talk about some really, really significant topics. All I can say is that use it as a learning opportunity. Use it, like Teya says, as a platform to talk about what matters to you, because at the end of the day, you're the young people who are being given this platform. You're the people who should be talking about what matters to young people. I mean, us three, we're past our prime now. We can't be considered. We're not young people anymore. We've had to pass the baton on. We've been forced to. This is it.
It's not a baton, Sam. It's a walking stick now.
Oh my God.
Teya, you were quick.
That was really quick. That's been thought about previously.
I wish it was. That was quite. Just I was on it then. I don't know where that came from.
That was good. Are you available for birthday parties?
Yes. 20 quid and I'm there.
It's your opportunity to talk, and then listen.
Yeah. I like that. Another T-shirt worthy quote.
Very.
It's another side hustle. And Oxfordshire Youth inspiring T-shirts.
Yes. I think you should start.
I'm ready. So, Jodie, the CEO, if you're listening, can we get the T-shirts, please? Because
all of the new members will have to wear a different T-shirt with different quotes on throughout the time.
That's how you keep us in the podcast. We just supply different weird inspirational quotes or funny comments to go onto T-shirts.
Yep. I fully see it. I am Darius. I support this message. I think it would be remiss of us if we didn't just thank some of the amazing people that we've got to meet. They're not here now, but some of the amazing people. So Christian, Jenny, Ben, you've all had so much great involvement in this podcast. And Becky, don't think we forgot about you. Becky, the amount of work that you've put in to allow this podcast to happen, to help us all, even at a time, but it was extremely difficult when we couldn't do anything due to the pandemic and the simple fact that the world shut down. We couldn't do the Youth Awards, and you helped us rechannel our energy into something different. So thank you so much. From me, from all of us, we love you. We thank you for all that you've done. And we just wish you all the best in the future. And I'm sure that, Christian, I will see you at work. But Ben and Jenny, I'm sure our paths will cross again, whether it's just on Instagram or in real life. You will always have friends that you can count on in us.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, thank you all so much for listening to this episode. It's been amazing. It's been a journey. It's been 2 years.
Stop saying it.
I'm sorry. I have to say it. I have to,
No,
bring
you
that.
don't. Just lie to us. Just lie to us. It's
Okay,
fine.
yeah. It's been 6 months. Yeah,
Thank you.
what it's been.
Feel better now.
But it's been absolutely amazing, and we are really excited to pass this on to a phenomenal group of young people. They are waiting in the wings. In a couple of episodes' time, you will hear their amazing voices, and potentially you may have even heard their voices at the start of this episode, as well as seeing both Sam and Teya at the beginning of the episode in our new intro for season 3. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. We can't wait to see you next time, and thank you so much for listening and watching. See you soon.